Welcome to my channel. Today we have a special topic for men. Picture this, a man strong and stoic, carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. He walks through life with a determined stride, never faltering or showing signs of weakness. His back is straight, his gaze unwavering, but the burden he carries is immense. He smiles, but his eyes betray a hidden sadness. A sadness that lingers just beneath the surface, a sadness that he hides from the world. His smile is a mask, a facade that he wears to protect himself and those around him. He laughs, but deep down he's hurting. His laughter is hollow, a mere echo of the joy that once was. It's a defense mechanism, a way to cope with the pain that he feels inside. The world sees his laughter, but they don't see the tears that he sheds in silence. This, my friends, is the harsh reality that every man must face. A reality where vulnerability is seen as weakness and strength is measured by how well one can hide their pain. It's a reality that is both cruel and unforgiving. We live in a world that tells men to be strong, to suppress their emotions, and to never show weakness. But at what cost? The cost is high, my friends. It's the cost of mental health, emotional well-being, and genuine human connection. It's a cost that is often too great to bear. This is the weight of unspoken truths and the burden of expectations that society places on men. These expectations are heavy and they weigh down on the shoulders of men everywhere. They are the silent burdens that men carry with them every day. It's a heavy load to bear, and it's time we talked about it openly and honestly. It's time we had real conversations about men's struggles, about their mental health, and about the pressures they face. Only then can we begin to lift the weight of the world off their shoulders. The truth is, men hurt just as deeply as anyone else. They often carry their pain in silence, feeling the weight of the world on their shoulders. They feel sadness, fear, and anxiety, just like everyone else. These emotions can be overwhelming, yet they often go unspoken. They experience heartbreak, loss, and disappointment. These moments can be incredibly isolating, leaving them to grapple with their emotions alone. But somewhere along the way, men are taught that these emotions are signs of weakness, something to be ashamed of. This belief is ingrained from a young age. This societal conditioning can be incredibly damaging. It creates a barrier that prevents men from expressing their true feelings. It prevents men from connecting with their true selves, from building meaningful relationships, and from seeking help when they need it most. The fear of judgment looms large. It's time to break free from these outdated notions and create a world where men feel safe to be vulnerable and authentic, a world where they can share their struggles without fear and find strength in their vulnerability. From a young age, boys are bombarded with messages about what it means to be a man. Be strong, be tough, don't cry. These messages are everywhere, in movies, in video games, and even in the words of well-meaning family and friends. The problem is, these expectations don't allow boys to fully embrace their humanity. They create a disconnect between who they are on the inside and the mask they feel pressured to wear on the outside. This can lead to feelings of isolation, frustration, and even anger. This pressure to conform to rigid gender roles is what we call toxic masculinity. It's harmful not only to men themselves, but also to the people around them. When men are afraid to show vulnerability, they're more likely to engage in risky behavior, struggle with anger management, or have difficulty forming healthy relationships. But here's the good news. We can change this narrative. By challenging these outdated beliefs and embracing vulnerability as a strength, we can create a more compassionate and equitable world for everyone. I'll never forget the day a man in one of my workshops broke down crying. It was a moment that left an indelible mark on everyone present. He had been raised to believe that men don't cry, that it was a sign of weakness. This belief had been ingrained in him since childhood, shaping his interactions and emotional responses. But in that moment, he allowed himself to be vulnerable, to share his pain with a room full of strangers. And you know what? That act of courage changed everything. He wasn't met with judgment or ridicule. Instead, he found a room full of people who understood his pain, who had felt similar emotions themselves. He was met with compassion, empathy, and understanding. The room transformed into a safe space where everyone felt free to express their true selves. That moment was a powerful reminder that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a strength. It takes immense courage to show our true selves, to admit our fears and insecurities. It's what connects us to each other, builds trust, and allows us to experience the full spectrum of human emotions. When we embrace vulnerability, we open the door to deeper connections and more meaningful relationships. We realize that we are not alone in our struggles and that shared vulnerability can be a source of immense strength and resilience. It's time for men to reclaim their emotional lives, to embrace vulnerability, seek support when they need it, and challenge the toxic narratives that hold them back. This isn't just about men, it's about all of us. When men are free to be their authentic selves, everyone benefits. Let's start a conversation. Let's create a world where men feel safe to be vulnerable, to express their emotions, and to seek help without shame. The journey to wholeness begins with a single step. Let's take it together. I hope you find this video helpful. Please subscribe, like, and share to encourage us to make more videos. Thanks for watching.